Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our chapter 1 of history, the rise of nationalism in Europe. But before we start this chapter, let us understand why history is important. So, it is important because it allows us to understand our past, which in turn allow us to understand our present. If we want to know how and why our world is the way it is today, we have to look to history for answers. If we study the success and failures of the past, we may ideally be able to learn from our mistakes and avoid repeating them in future. So these are the some reasons why we read history today. In this chapter, we will learn about the rise and spread of nationalism in Europe. So these are the map of Europe before unification and after unification. So in the first map, that is Europe before unification, you can clearly see that before the mid-19th century, Europe was divided into small kingdoms which was ruled by the kings. Whereas in the second map, that is Europe after unification, here we can see Europe which is divided into different countries. That is Germany, Italy, France, Switzerland, etc. Or this is the Europe which we can see today. So these are the two maps which shows the condition of Europe before unification and after unification. Now before we start the chapter, these are the topics which will be covered. Introduction, the French Revolution, the making of nationalism in Europe, the age of revolutions 1830 to 1848, unification of Germany, Italy and Britain, visualizing the nation, nationalism and imperialism. Now before we start the chapter, let us understand the meaning of nationalism. So nationalism means loyalty and devotion towards a nation or a feeling of patriotism. Now let us start the introduction part of the chapter. As you can see in your book, the chapter starts with a painting of Frederick Solluz, which was prepared by him in the year 1848. He was a French artist who prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic. So let us understand this image. As you can see in this image, Solluz shows people from different countries. All are marching towards the Statue of Liberty and each of them wearing their national costumes and carrying revolutionary flags. The countries that are leading the procession are the United States and the Switzerland. They are followed by the French people carrying the revolutionary tricolor. You can see in the image that France has just reached the Statue of Liberty, and France is followed by the German people with their flag, and then other countries are behind the Germany. The foreground signifies the end of absolutist institutions and the monarchy. Now, what is absolutism? we can define this as the government or a system of rule with a lot of uncontrolled power, or it also refers to as the repressive monarchical form of government. Now, another remarkable part of the sprint is the angels, saints, and Christ who are looking at these groups of people. It seems that they are showing their blessings on them, and painter used them to emphasize the fraternity among the nations of the world. So this print is path breaking as it reflects the mood of the time, an era of revolution that marked Europe during the 19th century. So this is all about this print, which was prepared by Frederick Soreau, and he named it The Dream of Worldwide Democratic and Social Republics. These are the features of the paintings which we discussed just now. People of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they pass by it. The second feature is the Statue of Liberty has a torch of enlightenment and charter of the rights of men. On the earth lie the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. And the last one is, in his utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flag and costumes. So these are the features of the painting that was prepared by Frederick Soreau. Now the hard words which we read in this part are the nation state, then absolutist, and the utopian. Nation state, it was one in which the majority of its citizens, and not only its rulers, came to develop a sense of common identity and shared their history or descent. Absolutist, it is a government or a system of rule that has no restraint or power exercised. In history, the term refers to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. Utopian means an imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect. And the image which was prepared by Frederick Soreau, that was an utopian image. Now the question formed in this part is, who was Frederick Soreau? How did he visualize nations in his series of 4 prints that he produced in 1848? Thank you.